Right. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just finished a date. The girl, she came over when we watched the movie. Now, the original plan was to go out and grab pizza and maybe come back to my place afterwards. But because the weather was so bad, we decided to just stay in and watch a movie and order pizza delivery. I feel sorry for the pizza delivery guy because the weather is so bad outside. It's literally a rainstorm all day since yesterday. And today I was going to meet up with the guy, another guy from RSD, but we decided that the weather was so bad and it was just probably not many people outside enough for us to do day game, so we decided to do it tomorrow. It's funny because it feels like we're both making excuses to not do it, but we both know we could do it. Now, a strange thing happened before I was about to meet up with him. I was feeling very anxious, and for some reason, I think the reason I was very anxious was because I kind of needed approval from other guys. That's a very big thing that's been missing in my life, which is approval from guys and not really girls. And that sounds very strange, but I think I can if I want to look back to my childhood memories, if that's like a bank of memories, if I could pick a memory that really impacted me the most was there was this time when me, my dad, my brother, my sister, my mom, our whole family, we were driving back from my cousin's place. I don't really remember what happened at my cousin's place. But I remember my dad was comparing me to my cousin and telling me that I should be more blah 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 blah. I don't even remember the details. But I remember I feel so unworthy, so inadequate. And recently, just a few days ago, my tutor also was also telling me off. I know he was probably coming from a good place, trying to teach me stuff, just but his tonality was similar to my dad, and that just triggered like a pain body inside me. And at that moment, I just couldn't talk. I just couldn't talk and say what I want to say. I feel like my swag was gone. And I think the conflict between that childhood trauma between me and my dad is probably something I need to work on. And don't get me wrong, I love my dad. He did so much for me. He pretty much paid for everything I have right here. So I mean, I'm not going to criticize him for making a mistake that he didn't intend to do. So yeah, I feel like validation from guys, it's kind of weird. Like you get into pickup, you're searching for validation from girls, but there's also the other side of searching validation from guys, especially guys who you deem are more superior or better than you. It's kind of like you're putting them on a pedestal when they're just a human being like you. And we see this all the time. When you're talking to your boss, he's literally on that pedestal where you have to treat him like a boss. But on the flip side, you could go to the extreme and you become a yes man. You start to sacrifice your own principles. You start to let him break your own boundaries, and you lose yourself as a man. And I think that's basically what I was feeling Well, my tutor was telling me, "Oh my God, why do you suck so much?" I mean, that's not the exact word he was saying, but his tonality was exactly like that. Now, of course, I like tutors who just kind of encourage you, even though you made a mistake. They don't really judge you, but they'll teach you and guide you in the right direction. I feel like that's what a good mentor is all about. The one who doesn't really look down on their students, because once you start looking down on your students, it's, you created this dynamic where you become more superior. You think you're more superior than them, and you don't really respect them as a human being. So yeah, and I kind of like. I mean, I kind of like teaching because it kind of reinforces what you're learning, and you always get new insights when you're teaching other people. Of course, it's not easy to teach. The communication is very important, and I feel like my tutor could have used probably better teaching style to communicate his teaching to his student, because I've seen the way he talked to his patients, and he's very empathetic and caring, and very understanding guy. But when he's talking to his students, he always expects them to know everything. But the thing is, we're still students, and we don't have the 10 to 15 years of experience that he has. So, there is that. I hate it when teachers says, you should remember this. I mean, okay, this is what probably most Asian teachers always says. They'll probably said, you should know this. You just learned this year. I've learned this 20 years ago, and I could still remember it. Well, if you think about it, you've been using it for 20 years, and we've only been using it for a year, and that's just a very unfair comparison, because you've been through so much, and we respect that, but you can't use that as a leverage on your students. It just really doesn't work that way. But who am I to say how to teach? I don't really have any experience teaching, so that's my humble opinion on teaching. Anyway, back to the dates. This girl is very shy, inexperienced. I could tell that shy, inexperienced girls, they are not very comfortable with physicality. So that's something you always have to be careful. And not be careful. You always have to calibrate on, have more empathy when you're in talking to these girls. And I have dated a medical student a few weeks ago. We went on 3 dates, and I think on the third date we kissed briefly, and for some reason I think that was too fast, too much for her, and we didn't really see each other after that, which was fine because I don't really have time these days to go on multiple dates with someone I haven't really slept with. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still appreciate girls as human beings, but I just think sexual chemistry is very important, and you can't commit yourself to a relationship when you haven't even slept with the other person, when you haven't even explored her sexuality with your own sexuality. And that's the thing that society kind of restrain us at. It kind of restrain us in this little box where you think sex is bad, you can't really have sex until you are in a committed relationship, yada yada yada. It just doesn't make sense in the real world. I mean, I used to have this very naive thinking that if you wanna get together with a girl, you gotta commit yourself to a relationship first, then have sex. But now my thinking has changed, because I've definitely had slept with a girl and found out that we weren't that sexually compatible, and we just ended up stay friends after we slept together, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you can't really force something that just doesn't feel good to you, you know. So anyway, this day we talked for 30 minutes or something. Then my pizza arrived. I went downstairs to grab my pizza, and props to the delivery guy for delivering those delicious pizza in such a short time and in this shitty weather when no one wants to go out. And I just say I really appreciate him for coming out here and deliver the pizza. Because I know they probably don't even pay him that much. It's probably minimum wage. It's probably not even worth it. I don't know. But anyway, I grabbed the pizza. I came back upstairs. We put on the movie, which I thought was a big mistake. And it was a big mistake because I just don't really have. We should have spent more time talking to each other and connect with each other, because then she would feel more comfortable for me to kiss, for us to kiss each other. So that was probably a big mistake for tonight. And I tried to kiss her again during the movie. She kissed briefly, then says sorry. I could understand that. She told me it's her first kiss ever. So I decided to just lay back, chill out, and enjoy the movie. And once the movie finished, she said she had to go. So I was like, okay, you can go. So I escorted her to the door and we said goodbye. Now that date really didn't feel like a very, well, from my point of view, it doesn't really feel like a very awesome date. Simply because we didn't really talk much. We just watched the movie. And I think this is the mistake I've been making, even with the medical student I was dating, because we also watched a movie. But even after the movie, she stayed and we talked. Uh, although I did try to kiss her on that second date, and she kind of moved away and said that was too fast. And this is the thing with girls who are very inexperienced. Um, they You just have to build more comfort and stay in your own lane and make yourself feel good doing by doing things that by linking things to free, carefree, fun, and passion. I think I did do that in the beginning when we were just talking and warming up to each other, because I haven't really gone out all day yesterday and also this today. So in a way, I feel really quiet and not very social. So when she first walked in, I was kind of like, what do I say? But I quickly, I know when you're in that state, where you don't know what to say, the best way is just to say whatever's on your mind. So that's exactly what I did. I just said whatever silly things that came up my mind. I was just playing around with hypothetical scenarios, and it doesn't even matter what you say. It's about how you feel when you say it. It has to feel good when you say it. And that's a very important thing. Now, I found on YouTube about Julian's infield breakdown from his product Shift. It's on YouTube, so I'm glad I didn't really buy it, but still, I watched his day game infield, and it was pretty good. Like, there weren't that much deep conversation. It was mostly just bantering, teasing, flirting, and kind of teasing her. Why do you like me so much? Why do you like me so much? It's always about how you feel when you say it. So yeah. Pretty tired. Got a long week ahead. I think I might have to. I have a presentation on Wednesday. And I have to get in front of another kind of mini presentation. kind of like a sales pitch, kind of like a sales pitch. I can never pronounce the word. I could never pronounce words like beach or bitch, and like peach or pitch. At least like the sound I with ea. I always mispronounce these words. And I remember there was this time that I was talking with my friend, and I was asking him, "Do you want to go to the beach?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to go to the beach?" I always have to slow down and kind of tune my voice so it's at the right spot when I pronounce these words. I know it's very weird, but I think that's kind of like an Asian thing. It's kind of like Asian accent that's coming out here and there. Right? What the hell was I talking about? I'm all over the place. Oh yeah, presentation on Tuesday. No wait, on Wednesday, and I have to do like a sales pitch on Thursday to get people to do my study. And I kind of figure out the reason why I'm so anxious when I'm doing that sales pitch is because I'm getting my own way. Like Julian's 10 law, 10 in a 10 game. The first law is getting out of your own way. I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting my own way. I'm trying to take value. I'm trying to kind of like force people